Greetings and welcome to another episode of the Planetary Persuader. I am KozMcKev, your host, and this week's episode is for June 26th, Friday, and goes all the way through right on up to Thursday, July 2nd, and we'll be back on Friday again. So what is going on? I mean, here we are again in between eclipse times. You know, we're going to have another lunar eclipse coming up. Not too long, on Sunday the 5th. So that's, just a week and a half away. And actually happens Saturday, 9:44 p.m. Wrong. Right. Pacific Daylight Time. So Saturday the 4th. Is that the 4th of July? Yes, it is. Okay. 4th of July, eclipse. This is huge, folks. I mean, the United States, right? That's the country to watch during that time. I always thought it was a country that watched, but no, no, it's a country that's being watched. Right? So this is interesting, I mean, we're not in this intense Kalsarpa yoga anymore, and that's good. It's planets are starting to break up, but there's still, as you can see, still concentrated mostly on one side of the chart. Today, the moon we'd see the moon in the constellation of Leo, and the part of Leo that the moon would be in today is known as Purva Falguni. And Purva Falguni is like the best of everything. Purva Falguni is ruled by Baba, who's known as a god of good fortune. Its ruling planet is Venus, planet of love. And something about Venus, too. Isn't Venus went direct? So we're dealing now with, boy, here we go. Venus direct. Let's get the right page. So Venus went direct on, will go direct on Thursday, so that was yesterday. So it was yesterday at, well, no, it actually went direct Wednesday night, 11:48 p.m. So Wednesday the 24th, 11:48 p.m., Venus went direct. No wonder why everything's better. So this is the first Purva Falguni moon with Venus direct. So, well, that's an awesome feeling. So now that the moon's in sidereal Leo, in this part of the sky, ruled by Baga, god of good fortune. It's about entertainment, and it's about the fireplace and people telling stories, and it's about conjugal bliss too. And one of the symbols is a bed or a hammock, because it's like also resting and entertainment. So all that. So maybe that's when like some people will like allow different kinds of shows, maybe slightly distanced, but I see something like that happening. And then everything else, though, it's like the moon is kind of this week carrying all the other, all the other planets, all the other grahas. So this will be an interesting week for sure. And let's go for it now, sign by sign in the tropical zodiac, Western born, March 21st through April 19th, Aries. Here we go. Also rising sign Aries, also moon sign Aries. Yes, it's all legit. So Mars is still in Pisces. Mars is actually moving into your sign. That's news. Forgot about that. Yeah. You've got Mars moving into Aries. Oh, man. Is that the 29th, is it? So, maybe. Yeah, on the 29th at 6:45 p.m.
That's my birthday.
That's your birthday. So this is kind of, this is auspicious, because Mars moving into the first house for Aries is, gives you more independence and drive Now, here at some point we're going to have Mars retrograde coming, but it's not there yet, so let's celebrate. Boom. The big move. All right. Greetings, Taurus. Welcome to your horoscope. And Uranus is like a planet of unpredictability. We don't know what it's going to do at any time. You know, it's one of uncertainty, but it's also the higher octave of Mercury, is one of the sayings I've heard about Uranus. So, I mean, Mercury is, it's loosely sextile to Uranus. It's not a bad aspect, necessarily. But, it is Mercury retrograde still. And what we want right now is to express independence, our own quirks, our own self-design. I could see, some stress coming out as a result of quarantine. So it's exciting, though, as things open up, and you have to be careful still. All that. Wash your hands, take some good vitamins, do your yoga, stay out in nature more. Mask it if you need to, and there's some good stuff. So let's see. We've got Gemini. Greetings, Gemini. So Venus still in the first house, but Venus is direct now. And since most of you Geminis are like sidereal Tauruses, this is a big deal. It's like you're able to function better, and the things that you're needing are coming to you more easily. We've got Pluto, Jupiter in the 8th house. And so, I think a lot of times, like in relationships, there's like money struggles, and I think, in some ways there's some resource struggle involved in this. I'm not sure what it is. But Saturn in the 9th, it's like, following a stern guru. Or if you had a stern father, things come up with that. And yet Saturn can be a really good teacher, too. Greetings, Cancer. Welcome to your horoscope. Well, this is your birthday. Happy birthday, Guillermo, and happy birthday all the Cancers having birthdays this week. Between now and July 3rd. There's been a lot on your mind, and I think of anyone right now, it's about work on what's in front of you. It's okay to go over something, it's okay to be in a critique process, but, keep it written down, keep your ideas coming. They're probably mostly good ideas. Mars now in your midheaven. Actually, work and career, you come across as better, like a better candidate right now, and that you're showing some kind of leadership ability, and that's impressive as well, too. And then like in the area relationship, there could be a miracle. There's this interface of like student and teacher, and sun and destroyer of light. It's kind of like it's a very complex situation here. All right. Well. We're going into Leo territory now. Okay, so greetings, Leo. Welcome to your horoscope. Like when we're walking through the valley of death, my rod and my staff, they comfort me. It's kind of like you want to acknowledge divine protection during this time. And, and you want to invoke that. Moon in the 2nd house, you're kind of making voice of things. You might have sentimental feelings about the way you were raised and grew up. You have something to talk about that you might want to express. And wealth could come to you this weekend too, in some ways. You could manifest something. there's a lot of, there's a lot of hard work. There's, it's like changing health issues, difficulties in expressing partnership, or maybe having that appeal to you that someone looks like they can take care of business, and that's what you're looking for. Spiritual life, it counts. Mars moving into the ninth house. You want to take some kind of adventure. Uranus in the, and maybe, or maybe you don't. There's so many things are still, planets are retrograde, that it's really hard to make those kind of decisions right now. I'd say show up for the party. Okay. But, take precautions. Wash your hands, wear a mask, I guess. Masquerade parties are really big right now. And everyone's behaving themselves overall pretty well. So let's give it kudos to everyone who's self-governing in a really respectful way. Yeah.
Just in life masquerade parties? Is like life a masquerade party? Or like
It's like a mask social distancing, and I'm so sorry I didn't wear my mask today. I guess I could just like fake it here for like a moment. Okay. Now what I'm saying just sounds a lot more smart. I'm being careful now.
Muffled. It's muffled intelligence.
Muffled intelligence. I love it. All right. All right, we're going to go over to Virgo now, I think. Virgo. So, that was Leo. Here's Virgo. Greetings, Virgo. Welcome to your horoscope. So, we're still in Mercury retrograde period, but Mercury is going to go direct, actually. And well, it's like, well, when exactly does that occur? I think it's July. It's not till July 12th. Oh my gosh.
That's my daughter's birthday.
It's my mom's birthday.
Is that your daughter's birthday?
It's my mom's
Oh, your
birthday.
mom? Nice.
wow.
Uh-huh.
Cool.
It's also Orange Man's Day, so don't get me started.
Orange Wednesday?
Oh, yeah. Oh, has anybody told you about the troubles? Well, anyhow, I regress here. So Virgo, Moon's in Virgo. That's basically this weekend. Moon's been in Virgo since yesterday afternoon. Moon's in Virgo today, and so there's this, nice kind of grounded feeling for you with the Virgo moon. There's a lot on your mind. Mercury retrograde, but Mercury's retrograde in the 11th house. 11th house, like, this is definitely not a time to buy into scams, or anything, or make purchases, because money's acting funny. There's this kind of money's acting funny, and I just wouldn't advise, getting involved in anything. At least wait till July 12th. This is and that's just like a common sense thing these days. A lot of things are about relationships for you right now, because all these planets, all these different houses, the house of children, the Jupiter-Pluto thing, house of work, Saturn, house of relationships, Neptune. Mars in the 8th, acts powerfully, but, sometimes there can be this impatience, and it's like we want to be patient for what we want, and we're inspired by the new things we learn because of Uranus and Venus in the midheaven. It's just like work as Venus goes direct should get better. It should be sweeter, and our ideas might get implemented. I don't know. That's yeah, that's about it for Virgo. Yeah, let's go as well. It's like, it'll be an edited pause. Yeah, probably not. Greetings, Libra. Welcome to your horoscope. So, right now, we've got Venus over in the ninth house. It's like good fortune, foreign relationships, people that live out of town, or like distance. Somebody you meet in grad school. Or in a foreign country, and the romance is more long distance. And then there's Rahu's there, and Mrigashira Nakshatra. I mean, it's like there's this whole thing with the North Node and like a desire that has no bottom. And then there's Saturn in the fifth house, and it's actually a good placement. It functions well there in the fifth house in some ways for you. And it's like, this is where, through discipline and whatever you've suffered through, you become a much better teacher. So, oops, check battery. Marn?
Yeah.
Check battery.
Oh,
Check battery.
It went dead.
battery check.
I think it's working still, but
Yeah, it's working.
it's working still, but I just said that for a second.
An important thing to do
Mm-hmm.
when the battery needs checking.
Right. So Libra, the battery check unfortunately came for you.
Boom.
We figured you were the best category because you make this extra effort to get along. And because of that, we're going to take advantage of you. Well, everyone else is on vacation. You're in charge of the house. So it's really true. He's hitting the nail on the head. How did he do this? I know. I'm like, well, this is like the whole work deal, centered in your career life, that, karma yoga, having to get with people in a better way. So anyhow, that's, eventually the moon is going to go into Libra later on this week. So you're going to enjoy a Libra moon during this week, especially if that happens Saturday afternoon. And so it's all there Sunday, a good portion of Monday, and you'll enjoy yourself there that way. And everything is relationship for you too, and Mars in the 7th, sometimes there's confrontations in relationships, but I think you'll live through it.
That's encouraging. That's encouraging.
Yeah.
Slightly disturbing.
Unless you don't.
There is that.
Well, sometimes, not surviving. Greetings, Scorpio. Sometimes not surviving or dying is the best option, And it's not to be so much for the morbidity of it, but it's more to say that our souls are more transcendent than the bodies they walk around in. And I was thinking about this just today about, Richard Alpert, who became Ram Dass, who just left us, recently within the year, and just what a profound impact he made of just like, this is how you meditate. Don't get down on yourself. Just be here now. And I think Scorpio, Cancer time's a good time for you. I mean, this is your 9th house, good time to travel. A good time for exploration, to attend ashram or see, or a temple or a monastery, be with a guru or some kind of monk or person on that more aesthetic spiritual path. That's a good way of looking at it, or even getting out in the wilderness. There is an element of good fortune in it, and it's also like you are empowered in this time to help other people. So for Scorpio, I would say helping other people is super important. I don't know if any of you look at medicine cards before. They're about animals and Native Americans. Okay, so I've had a pack of those before, and they teach you a lot of Native American shamans. They'll see what wild animals come to you, and they'll tell a story, whether they're ants or bees or a lizard or a hawk flies. They all have a story to tell about you, and so I think I want to encourage being less one-dimensional and start seeing that there's stories everywhere. So greetings, Sagittarius. Welcome to your horoscope. Yeah, I know I was brutal last week, so we'll be a little nicer this week. I mean, here's the good news in a way, is that you're in this kind of your performance art. Your talent at work. Where do you thrive? What makes you feel good and better? How do you feel you can improve or make things work even, in a better way for yourself. I mean, that'll be just like with the moon going by. And there's sort of this, it's a transformation thing. It's not like this place where you expect to have personal power. It's kind of like you have to listen to the boss. And I'm like, gosh darn it. I have to remind myself, I know astrology, but I'm still human. And I am fallible to all of these kind of little planetary tricky trackies, they call them grahas in the Vedic, which means grabbers. That's what the planners do. They kind of grab on to a certain part of energy. And right now it's like a lot to do with your drive and being physical. If you have male children, that would be something that I would look at to the martial arts, Venus in the 7th house, though. I mean, it's with the North Node, it could imply relationships, even marriage. This is so gypsy-like of me to say something like this. So, okay, pay up now, or
I'm some stranger.
Well, greetings Capricorn, and welcome to your horoscope. Okay, so Pluto gives insights. Jupiter brings good fortune. These are both in your 1st house. Cancer's your opposite sign. That's your partnership sign. That's your marriage sign. But it doesn't happen that way very often. It's a lot harder for winter and summer signs to get together than it is for spring and fall. So like Libra, Scorpio, Sagittarius, they can easily end up with Aries, Taurus, or Gemini. But it's a lot harder, for Cancer or Leo to go to their opposite, because they're Saturn ruled, So, they're almost better off playing it from the 5th house, which would be Taurus. But at the same time, it's there. There are some rare Capricorn and Cancers I've seen pull it off somehow. They pull off the marriage thing. And I mean, you might not be married, and this might not even apply to you, but it's like relationships, contracts, getting the job. And the other thing is, it's about, wearing something nice to work. It's like one thing you can always do is like when you do something to show your own self-dignity. That's like, it really helps. And I mean, something like a lot of Capricorns can be real trend followers too. A lot of them, they can be very, very hip. Think about like Jimmy Page or Elvis. They were Martin Luther King Jr. He was definitely hip. He was like beyond hip. The king. And I definitely like to think of like his presence. Was always like calling for resolution, and advocating peace and unity and people getting together, and you just can't help but love the king for that, and in a time where we're struggling as a people to find common ground, it's like our humanness it's still there, There will be people with horrible symbols at times doing great things, of compassion for others. It's just that, we get triggered, and because of a horrible, ugly history. And we still have to see each other's humanness in spite of all of that, But we got to be ready, whether we're going to run or fight. Things, now that Mars has moved into your 4th house, there's sort of this restlessness, like, oh, I got to get out, I got to travel, I got to go places, and so that's likely what you're thinking, what you want to do, and we're moving on to Aquarius. Oh yeah, no, greetings Aquarius, and welcome to your horoscope. So, what I'm seeing here is a willingness to work on health issues, and to also do like some kind of volunteer work, like you'll do a little bit of karma yoga during this period, and your love life is feeling good. There's this one part of you, it's like, yeah, my heart is really open and I'm feeling good. And then there's also this restlessness about where you are because of like Uranus in the 4th. but you're wanting to see spiritual connections with your family, with the way you use money, maybe even having like a talisman, like even people wearing gemstones or jewels. That's kind of I could see that a lot right now for you. All right, well, the wind-up, Pisces with Neptune in the first house. Don't have that pressure of Mars right now. And the thing is, when it goes in the second house, sometimes we can speak harshly. It can cause us, not all of us, some people are just really nice that way. I'd like to be nice.
You're a nice kid.
Oh, well, thank you. I can be nice, but it's not like that one episode of Gilligan's Island or something where he says it's nice to be nice to the nice, or no, maybe that was in MASH, and it was something that but it's really corny and it's sickeningly sweet. So anyhow, Pisces, you have to watch that kind of thing. And Uranus in the third house, having an unconventional relationship with siblings. Venus in the fourth, finding like that heart space in yourself with your family, the people you love, your house, your living environment. This is a time, if you have children, to really enjoy them and be a presence, whether you're just an aunt or an uncle, or you got grandkids or kids, get into that space with them right now. And it's going to be good. It's going to be a great week. I can't wait to be with you again next weekend when we do this. Blessings to you all. KozMcKev, the Cosmic Forecast. I'm out.